So somebody went and started scratching underneath my coffee table to get me to check on what she was getting into, also that she could run and steal my chair. So that's a thing. How's your day going? Genuine question. Anyways, let's get into the actual video now. Today's video is brought to you by me, as well as today's partner, Cheeky. Cheeky soap is an all-moisturizing block of delight that will leave your skin feeling refreshed. Look, take it from me. I've been using Cheeky soap for quite a few months now, and it has been wonderful. I love the way the soap feels on my skin in the shower, and it has been a game changer because shower time is where I ponder the big questions such as, will we ever get a Mega Shuckle? I don't know, and you might be wondering, why are you talking so much about soap? And I'll tell you why. We've all been around one person at one point or another who smells like they've been wrestling a grimer. And you don't have to be that person when you use Cheeky. And that's why my code SHUCKO is a thing. So make sure you head over to usecheeky.com using code SHUCKO for 10% off on your order. You certainly will not be disappointed. I am a huge believer in the soap, and I wouldn't be promoting it as hard as I do if I was not. Cheeky's got plenty of different scents to cut through the odors like nobody's business, such as touch grass as well as lo-fi lavender, and that's just the scents that I happen to have on hand. There are plenty more scents on their website. So what are you waiting for? Use my code SHUCKO to grab 10% off on your orders of Cheeky soap and get some blocks of delight for yourselves. And now let's dive right on in to the discussion. Take it away, me. Woo! Let's talk about some more of Legends Z-A's brand new Mega Pokemon. And this one is going to have a bit of a theme following the fire, grass, and water archetype with an asterisk in there. And comment down below before we go any further to see if you can predict which of the three Pokemon I'm talking about, and also bonus points if you get what the asterisk is. Now, for those of you who might be stumbling across this for the first time, this is going to be where I'm going to put your spoiler warning if you do care about spoilers for Legends Z-A. If you haven't had a chance to play it and you just don't want to be spoiled, not the video for you. But that said, feel free to check out some more content on my channel. There's plenty of Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet battles, as well as discussion videos talking about competitive Pokemon in general. So if that tickles your fancy, feel free to check out the rest of my channel in case this is the first video of mine that you're seeing. Maybe consider leaving a like and subscribe if this is right up your alley. Now, as far as these Mega Pokemon go, this is technically going to be a little bit more Champions based because one, the combat system in Legends Z-A is drastically different compared to the turn-based combat that veteran players such as myself are more accustomed to, and two, Legends Z-A also doesn't have abilities. So with the three Pokemon we're going to be talking about, I wanted to talk about their stats, their typing, and speculate on what I might see for some abilities down the road, as well as talk about some abilities I would love for these Pokemon to have going down the road, even just spitballing some ideas for some potential brand new abilities down the road in the future as well. So, without further ado, let's jump right on in to the first Pokemon, and it is going to be this abomination. I'm sorry, it's been 2 weeks. The design for Mega Pyroar has not grown on me by any means. But yeah, let's talk about Mega Pyroar first. Now, I know the hair for this thing is supposed to make the characters for Incinerate and Blaze, but I just can't get over it. I really cannot. As far as Mega Pyroar goes, this is definitely not what I was expecting to see it. Now, I was kind of hoping to see like a little bit more of a muscular lion, maybe see like some rippling muscles right there, maybe add to the more ferocious aspect of Pyroar, but yeah, I just can't take this thing seriously. Like, as far as Mega Pyroar goes, it is still a fire normal type Pokemon, which is an interesting combination. It does have a natural ghost immunity right there. It doesn't have a whole lot of resistances and weaknesses, but I mean, fire is pretty decent for having some resistances in its own right. It does have a weakness to fighting that kind of balances out the ghost immunity, but I mean, it does have a ghost immunity. You resist grass, you resist bug, you resist steel and fairy, which honestly, fairy's a pretty notable one to be able to resist as a fire type, so that is relatively handy. You've got some pretty decent coverage on the stab normal option with hyper voice. I mean, outside of rock, steel, and ghost, normal's pretty neutral against everything, so that's not too shabby. As far as fire goes, I mean, you can punish steel types, you can punish bugs, grass. You're looking at your Therathorns, your Scizors. None of those Pokemon are loving taking a fire type attack from Mega Pyroar. As far as a potential ability goes, I would love for this to either get competitive, maybe see flash fire or solar power, maybe solar power over flash fire, something that could kind of boost up its fire type attacks. Maybe even if we got a brand new ability that well, I was going to say an ability similar to like the 8 abilities like Pixelate, Aerialate, where normal type attacks would become fire type moves, but you have stab normal coverage to begin with. That's probably not a good idea for Mega Pyroar. Maybe a different fire type Pokemon down the road. Getting something like that could be relatively cool. If we wanted a defensive ability, I mean, Flame Body would be really nice since you could potentially have something burn or get burned by touching this thing. Like, Flame Body might be a decent idea on the defensive side, maybe even a brand new ability similar to Ferrothorn's Iron Barbs, where maybe the Pokemon making contact with Mega Pyroar would take a little bit of chip damage. Maybe even because it's a Mega Pokemon, maybe give it the ability to potentially burn as well. Maybe basically make it Flame Body but prickly somehow. Like, maybe give it like the ability to potentially burn something but to also do a little bit of residual damage when a Pokemon makes a contact move with this thing. Maybe something like that. I would really love to see Mega Pyroar get a really strong ability to kind of make up for, one, the goofy design and also the stat distribution. So we're going to jump into the showdown window right here, and we're going to go over Pyroar and Mega Pyroar's stats. So starting off with base Pyroar, we have 86 HP, 68 attack, 72 defense, 109 special attack, 66 special defense, and 106 speed. Now, I've had conversations about Pyroar outside of YouTube, and basically, I feel bad for Pyroar because as far as these stats go, I kind of wish base Pyroar had a little bit better stats to begin with. I was really excited about this thing when it was coming back to Scarlet and Violet. I made a video on it at the time, and I thought it was going to be really fun. But the more I look at these stats, the more kind of underwhelming they kind of are, especially too when you factor in regular Pyroar's abilities. We've got Rivalry, Unnerve, and Moxie. None of these help the special attack. Well, maybe Rivalry kind of does, but it's kind of conditional. So basically, like, Unnerve just makes it so that the opponents don't want to eat their berries, which, when that's combined with another ability, in Calyrex's case, that's pretty nice. But Pyroar is not Calyrex, so obviously it only has Unnerve when it has that as its ability. Rivalry, if Pyroar matches the same gender of its opponent, it gets a quarter boost for its attacks, while the opposite gender, its attacks get reduced down to 3/4 of their full power. So if you have a specific niche matchup, like say Tornadus and the other genies, which are male outside of an Amorous. A male Pyroar could maybe be able to make a case like that, but that's not really the greatest. And then there's Moxie. Moxie raises the physical attack by 1 stage if Pyroar picks up a KO. Here's the problem. It's got 68 base attack. That's not great. It's a special attacker. And you know what else special attackers want to do? They want to have as low attack IVs as possible to reduce the potential foul play damage they take. That's kind of counterproductive if your ability is Moxie, unless you're running a devoted physical set on this thing, which is not great. And if base Pyroar had maybe a little bit more defenses or just a little bit more speed and a little bit more special attack, I think what they did as far as Mega Pyroar stat distribution goes, I think it would be really good. Honestly, I think Mega Pyroar's stats are probably what regular Pyroar probably should have had, whereas this thing was like a big member, or it had a big relevance on Lysander's team in the story of X and Y. And if I remember correctly, Malva of the Elite Four also had one, and she also had ties to Team Flare. So like Pyroar, if it had better stats, it would have been more prominent for Lysander and Malva's teams. And honestly, if I remember right, I think Pyroar was Malva's ace Pokemon, which is kind of sad. Yeah. I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since playing X and Y. I think each of the Elite Four had a Mega Pokemon, and obviously no Kalosian Pokemon had a Mega Evolution at the time. So, like, I think Pyroar was meant to be, like, the ace on Malva's team from Kalos, and then she had a Mega Fire-type Pokemon. So, you know, I've yapped enough about this. Let's just pull up the Mega stats. We go up by 20 in every single stat. If Pyroar, say, was at 80 defense and 76 special defense, I would have liked to see the jump right there. Like Pyroar goes up to 92 defense, it goes up to 86 special defense. That's still sort of glassy, and it's putting a bit of strain on that base 86 HP stat. Like that puts on about as much strain on my knees as I naturally do standing up and bending down. Like it ain't great. Now, as far as the special attack and speed go, 129 and 126 are not bad numbers. I think that's workable. But what I would have rather have seen was the attack stat stay at 68 instead of go up to 88. Maybe have a little bit more min-maxing kind of involved right there. And maybe see the special attack go up to 139 and 136. Like, basically right here, with Mega Pyroar, I would have liked the attack to stay where it was. And then that way, too, getting the extra 20 into the defenses is not bad, and getting the 30 and 30 into the speed and special attack would have been a little bit better, in my personal opinion. Now, if Mega Pyroar does get a really good ability, I think it's okay to be able to, like, accept that. And here's the thing. If this thing was base 136... it would outspeed a lot of the big threats that were introduced in Generation 9. It would outspeed Koraidon and Miraidon, as well as Fluttermane. It would speed tie Iron Bundle. It would outspeed Chien-Pao by exactly 1 point, which there's something kind of satisfying about the Flaming Lion chasing the Snow Leopard down. Like, I don't know why I find that so satisfying, but, like, just seeing that cat fight happen. Like, I think these two cats... I think it would be funny to see Mega Pyroar have that one speed stat, and outside of, like, Chien-Pao's Sucker Punch, like, Pyroar would be able to get the jump on Chien-Pao and basically take it out. Especially, too, whereas it's Ice Dark versus Fire Normal. Like, I think that would be really satisfying to have seen. So, yeah, as far as this thing goes, I would love to see it get competitive instead of Moxie. Maybe Flash Fire or Solar Power as far as fire type abilities go, just to kind of recap what I was saying earlier. maybe even see a defensive side, maybe see Flame Body, and then that way too, if this thing does take a physical hit, well, it does have a little bit of extra defenses now, so that might be all right. And if I remember right too, I think Pyroar does get Will-O-Wisp. It does. So you could potentially burn a target and then have Pyroar Mega Evolve. Like, it might be able to take a physical hit a little bit better. So maybe it might not be as disappointing as I kind of feel about the defense. Like, I have hope for this Pokemon. I think it might be all right going forward in the future, depending on whatever ability it has. Like, Pyroar might not have... It might not be as bad as I'm initially making it out to be. Like, the 20 across the board might be okay at the end of the day. It just feels kind of middling, to be completely honest. But that's just my opinion on it. I'm still hopeful for it. I think it can be good moving forward based off of what ability we see when it eventually comes around for Champions. So that's mostly my thoughts on Mega Pyroar. I don't think Pyroar got any notable moves added to its move kit, but I mean, if this thing does have a fire-based ability like Solar Power, there are plenty of Sunsetters outside of Charizard Y that can set the sun for this thing, and it can do some big damage. And it kind of makes me think about Mega Houndoom, which, depending on when this video comes out, I have a Mega Houndoom video out either just before this or just after this, which, if this thing has solar power, like, it could be really fun in the sun, especially since you have Sunsetters such as Torkoal and Ninetales and Groudon even all getting Helping Hand in Generation 9. So, like, Helping Hand coming from those Pokemon could really push this thing's Fire-type attacks to the next level as far as the sun goes. So maybe we might see something like that, or who knows, maybe we might see a different thing. Like, maybe we might see an ability kind of cater towards the normal aspect of it, or maybe even Intimidate. I'm sorry, with how goofy this thing is, I don't see this thing realistically intimidating anything, but I don't know. Yeah, anyways, it's a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, but let's move on to the next Pokemon on the list, which is going to be Mega Victreebel, which I think is a really fun Pokemon as far as the stats go, and I even made a short on it, and yeah, Mega Victreebel is goofy, and I think it's going to be great. So why do I think this thing is going to be great? Well, I really am holding out hope that this thing gets Chlorophyll, which would be hilarious. It's not that far of an unrealistic expectation since base Victreebel gets Chlorophyll, so yeah, I think Mega Victreebel definitely has some potential. It retains its Grass Poison typing, and it gets a relatively decent jump to its offensive stats. Now, it also does get a little bit of defenses, so that's certainly not bad either. And its speed is exactly the same at 70 speed. So if this thing gets Chlorophyll, that could be fun. It might see some poison-based ability options. I don't know, maybe some brand new poison-based ability could be really, really cool. Maybe it could be something like every time it takes a physical contact hit, like, it might just spray acid and lower something's defense, which honestly, that could be kind of fun. In the initial trailer we saw for this thing, we just saw it kind of bouncing around and spraying poison. And basically, it even says in the Dex entry, as far as Mega Victreebel goes, the amount of acid inside it is increased, and it's got to be careful, otherwise the acid will overflow and spill out. It could be like, I think Mega Victreebel, if it got a unique ability, it could be something similar to Weak Armor, where Weak Armor would lower your defense one stage and then raise your speed plus by +2. I could see something like maybe Mega Victreebel takes a physical hit, whether it's just a regular physical hit or if it needs to be a critical hit. It might spray some acid out, and maybe the Pokemon that did the physical hit either takes some damage or takes a drop to its defensive. Like, acid is corrosive. I think it could be kind of fun if Mega Victory Bell, if it takes a physical hit, it lowers the target's defense or special defense. I mean, hey, acid spray lowers special defense, so I mean, it could be kind of like a reverse close combat where Victory Bell takes the hit and then lowers your defenses as a result. I think that could be pretty cool. I would love to still see Chlorophyll, as I mentioned, because I think it would be hilarious to see this absolute monstrosity of a bag of soup just coming flying at you at 140 kilometers per hour. Like, I think that could be hilarious in the sun. Yeah, so let's move into Showdown before I get sidetracked here as far as this goes. So as far as Mega Victory Bell goes, we have a base 125 attack and 135 special attack. We have 85 defense and 95 special defense with that 70 speed that I touched on, which, as far as regular Victory Bell goes, like, we see an increase of an attack by 20 points and an increase of special attack by 35 points, which is relatively cool. And then we see the physical defense go up by 20, special defense goes up by 25. So that's relatively nice as far as Mega Victory Bell goes for its stat distribution. And, you know, like, Mega Victory Bell, it would have access to growth, which in the sun, instead of going up by +1 when it's used, it would go up by 2. So I think that could be spicy, since it can naturally increase both of Victory Bell's offensive stats. And then you would have options on the physical front as far as damaging moves go. You could have access to, say, Knockoff. You could have Leaf Blade, Leech Life, which Leech Life is interesting since you would get some recovery back on the physical side. You could have Poison Jab for some physical coverage. If you wanted to up your power from Leaf Blade, you could look into Power Whip. So basically, at the cost of 15 accuracy, you could go from base 90 power to 120. You could also have Sucker Punch, so there's some priority right there. So Victory Bell, if it doesn't have a speed boosting ability like Chlorophyll, I mean, you do have that to get around that 70 speed. So you definitely have that. You could also have, well, you could make a case maybe for Bug Bite if you are really confident your opponent's got a berry, and then basically you could just take that berry away. Now, it's not going to be the most amount of damage, but I mean, you're removing your opponent's item with Bug Bite and gaining the effect of the berry. So I mean, maybe if you happen to steal a Salic berry and get the speed boost, or a Lychee berry. Now, I don't know if those berries are still necessarily used as much in recent time, but I mean, in the past, I mean, those were kind of a nice little pinch boost right there with speed or attack. So having Bug Bite just kind of steal those could be nice. I mean, you could also steal a citrus berry too. So, I mean, there's certainly that. So you do have that kind of working in your favor as far as that goes for some physical options. As far as some special options go, you have Clear Smog. So, you know, I don't know how prevalent it'll be in Champions, but I mean, Dondozo, like, it's kind of just nice to have an option to remove its stats with Clear Smog. So, I mean, you definitely have that. If you have any Pokemon that wants to boost for that matter, you could have Clear Smog to just straight up remove those. And even if you don't necessarily mega your Victory Bell and you still have Clear Smog, you can always clear away a debuff on your own partner if you are in a sticky enough situation where suddenly that doesn't look too bad. I mean, hey, Annihilate doesn't mind taking the damage, just saying. Rage Fest. So, yeah, if your Annihilate stats get too lowered and for some reason you're not running Defiant, or who knows, maybe you got hit with Malamar's Topsy-Turvy, I mean, it could do that too, and just, you know, go from there. Moving on, we have Energy Ball, Giga Drain, and Grass Knot. All three are great grass-type options. Like, Energy Ball is just nice base 90 power with that bonus chance of potentially lowering the target's special defense one stage. Giga Drain, you have the sustainability option, and unlike Leech Life, you do have Stab on this, so not only would you benefit from Stab, but you're also gonna recover back 50% of the damage you just dealt. So like, you could probably make a case for Giga Drain on Mega Victory Bell. While it's not necessarily the bulkiest Pokemon out there with that 80 HP, you do have some nice defenses. So if you are behind a screen or two, like, you could certainly make a case for that Giga Drain and just have that. You have Grass Knot, which the heavier the target, the more damage you're going to do. And even if you run into something like, say, Barbaracle, which is the next Pokemon on the list, or Gastrodon, those Pokemon are 4 times weak to grass-type attacks. So even if you're not necessarily hitting these heavy Pokemon, you're still doing a lot of damage with the 4 times modifier. Like, I always use Kyogre and Groudon as the example for Grass Knot, but I mean, Grass Knot is a great move. Like, at the end of the day, like, you can do a lot of damage to the heavier Pokemon. A lot of Rock-type Pokemon are heavy to begin with. A lot of Steel-type Pokemon that are not necessarily just pure Steel, but, like, neutral to Grass-type because of a dual typing. Like, they wouldn't appreciate it either. Any Pokemon that has an ability that naturally doubles their weight would certainly not love Grass Knot. So, like, you can do a lot of damage there. And actually, skipping down, we do have another grass option here. We have Leaf Storm. So even if you wanted to run Mega Victory Bell with a physical set, and you just wanted that burst of special damage, and then just kind of pivot into a physical attacker, like, you do have the Leaf Storm. So, like, you could do massive damage with that base 130 power. You take a -2 special attack drop, but I mean, if you're running that on a physical set, like, you might be able to catch some physically defensive opponents off guard by doing that, and then when your opponent thinks you're a special set, you just switch to a physical move. So, I mean, you could potentially have that, or if you just want the raw explosive damage on a special set and just switch this thing out, I mean, that could certainly be alright. Now that I'm thinking about it, Regenerator might be a fun ability on this thing too, because then if it's switching out and it gets some HP back, I mean, that's not the end of the road either. So, yeah, you could have Leaf Storm for some big damage. You could also have Sludge Bomb, which, I mean, Sludge Bomb would be a good poison type option right there. It would have the 30% chance of poisoning the target, so that could be fun. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, even if Victory Bell kind of had, like, a brand new poison-based ability that kind of, like, incorporates the elements of Venom Drench, that could be fun too, because Venom Drench, when the target is poisoned, like, Venom Drench will lower their offensive stats and I think their speed. It's such a very niche move that I think it would be better as an ability than an actual attack, and then you're freeing up a move slot. So maybe something like that for Mega Victory Bell could be fun too. Like, if Victory Bell takes hit from a contact move and then just does that. So, like, I mean, that might not be the end of the world either. Like, there's a lot of potential for a brand new poison ability on this thing. Not gonna lie. You have Weather Ball, which Weather Ball could be funny if we do get the Chlorophyll that I am really hoping we get, because then you could have fire coverage on top of Victory Bell moving fast. So you could certainly have that. I mean, even if we don't get Chlorophyll and, say, rain or snow or sand is up, I mean, that's water, ice, or rock coverage on there on top of this thing. So there's that. Acid Spray, I think, could be hilarious because of the -2 special defense drop that's guaranteed. So there's certainly that. And even if you wanted something to be forced to deal with Victory Bell, maybe you got them Toxic. I mean, Infestation might be interesting, since that would trap them for 4 to 5 turns, and they would also take a little bit of chip damage on top of that. So there's that. Venoshock is here, which, if this thing is very easy and capable of poisoning opponents, Venoshock could be funny. Yeah, I think that could be all right. Ring Out is a move that I have forgotten exists, but it's a normal special type attack that does more damage based off the amount of HP the target has left. It's basically a special normal variant to the new, well, I say new, but it's been around since the Scarlet and Violet DLC, the steel type move, Hard Press, which is a physical steel version to this. So I think that could be an interesting idea. I don't know if it would necessarily work, but I mean, hey, I am certainly interested in seeing what it could do. And then as far as Victory Bell's status moves go, like, you could have Encore to lock your opponent into a setup move. You have Strength Sap, which is great for sustainability, and plus it also makes the target's attack stat get dropped. So I mean, you could have that. This thing also gets Sword Stance, so if you wanted that for the physical set, there's that. You have Toxic, which, I mean, because Victory Bell is a poison type, like, it can't miss. So there's certainly that. If you want to just destroy abilities on the target, like, you have Gastro Acid, so you have that. Mega Victory Bell does get a little bit bulkier, so, I mean, you could maybe make a case for Stockpile, since you can raise your defense and special defense with that, which, I mean, you are sitting at 85 and 95, so you're at 105 and 115. It would only take 36 EVs to get it rounded up to the next set of 10. So, like, you could be sitting at 110 and 120. Go for Stockpile. Get a 55-point boost into your physical defense and a 60-point boost into your special defense. So, I mean, you could hypothetically get away with something like that. Invest into your HP and then kind of put a little bit into your speed and then special attack. So, like, maybe you could do that, or, you know, instead of special attack, you do physical attack. You could maybe do something like that instead. We'll just fix the IVs. So, yeah, maybe that's not too shabby at the end of the day as well. So, I think Mega Victory Bell certainly does have some potential. And yeah. Also, the other thing too, if you want an even more in-depth version to this, like when the Teal Mask DLC dropped, I did do a video discussing regular Victory Bell. So I feel like if you wanted to, you could even watch that and just kind of apply some of that logic to the Mega as well. So yeah, I think Victory Bell and Mega Victory Bell, they certainly have a lot of potential. Now let's move on to Barbaracle. All right, so here's where the asterisk comes in, because with Mega Barbaracle, we do change types here. We go from being rock water to rock fighting, which is a very, very interesting typing here, because rock fighting has, well, it's got some fun matchups here. It's the same typing as Terrakion, which it's such an obscure typing. I actually had to Google to see if we've had a rock fighting type before in the past, because I couldn't remember. But basically, as far as rock fighting goes, we have resistances to bug, poison, dark, rock, fire, and normal, while having weaknesses to fairy, psychic, fighting, steel, water, grass, and ground. So basically we have 6 resistances and 7 weaknesses. So out of the 18 potential types right there, we've got just under half of them right there between our resistances and our weaknesses. So that's fun. That's a thing. As far as Mega Barbaracle goes, although I think the head on this thing is a little bit weird, I mean, it tracks for Barbaracle. It really does. As far as it goes, we don't really have much to go off of for... we don't really have much to go off of Pokedex lore for ability ideas, because basically it's 2 lines. It uses its many arms to toy with its opponents. This keeps the head extremely busy. So, maybe we still have Tough Claws. Maybe that's the thing for Mega Barbaracle. And honestly, I would be okay for Tough Claws. I mean, adaptability might be fun. Having double stab on rock and fighting type moves, I think that might be a really unique option to see as far as this thing goes. Now, as far as Barbaracle goes, it's no longer 4 times weak to grass. And an interesting thing here too is Barbaracle is a Shell Smash Pokemon. And with Mega Barbaracle, I think this thing could get very, very scary. And the reason why is because of the way the stat distribution went, depending on what you want to do with it. Because, like, as far as base Barbaracle goes, you have 72 HP, 105 attack, 115 defense, 54 special attack, 86 special defense, and 68 speed. Like, a Jolly Barbaracle would max out at 132, which getting a +2 with Shell Smash, that would take you to 264, which that's pretty fast. And with your attack, like 157 right there, you're hitting 314 at a +2. Like that's nice. Like that's some pretty nice numbers to begin with. And if you had an adamant nature, like you would be 172 attack with max investment and 120 speed. So like that's not too shabby at the end of the day. And plus with Tough Claws, like you get a 30% boost for your contact moves, which Barbaracle gets some pretty decent physical attacks to begin with. Like as far as that goes, like you got Cross Chop, you got Dragon Claw, you got Brick Break, you got Aerial Ace, and the main reason why I name off Brick Break is because of the ability to break screens. Aerial Ace is just to deal with that pesky grass coverage. You get Liquidation, which is some really good stab water type coverage, which I mean, even just changing to a biting type, like you got Cross Chop already. You got Power Up Punch, which I mean, that'll raise your attack as well. You have Rock Blast, which although, well, Rock Blast isn't really going to be the best in a Champions format because you have to have your Mega Stone, but I mean, it's just some kind of ideas. Now, like a lot of rock moves don't really make a whole lot of contact to begin with, but I mean, I think that's still okay. Like having the ability to potentially boost up your attack stat with Shell Smash could already be kind of justified, and then like having your fighting type attacks potentially benefit from Tough Claws. Like I think that could be okay. Another ability that I think could be really fun with this would be Scrappy. I mean, any Mega Fighting type Pokemon, I'm hoping at least one of them gets Scrappy, but I think Barbaracle getting Scrappy could be fun. I highly doubt they would do it because it's a signature ability, but I mean, Ursaluna Blood Moon's Mind's Eye ability, that could be kind of fun based off this thing's design. I mean, just think about it. The amount of eyes it's got, it's going to require a lot of focus. You imagine this thing gets Mind's Eye and it can just take ghost types with fighting type attacks while also ignoring evasion and accuracy drops. Like that could be funny, but I highly doubt it would happen. So I mean, that's a thing. But I mean, this thing gets like a lot of contact moves, going back to the idea of Tough Claws. Like, I mean, you get Shadow Claw, you get Superpower, you get X Scissor. Sharpness could be a fun thing too, as far as Barbaracle goes. You have Payback, whereas Barbaracle is a little bit slower if you're not running a Shell Smash set. You have Dual Chop, which, I mean, that's a double hitting contact move. You have Dive, which also gives you some semi-invulnerability on the turn that you dive down. Like, you have that. And the other thing, too, is, like, I do have this set up for using Gen 8 National Dex because Barbaracle wasn't there. So, I mean, Barbaracle might also have some more fun things working in its favor as well. So we're just going to take a quick little pause, and then I swear I'm actually going to talk about Mega Barbaracle stats. So, one moment. Da-da-da-da. It gets close combat with Generation 9, so yeah, this is going to be fun. Also, it gets Dig too, which I think is kind of hilarious. So, yeah, I mentioned Dive earlier. It gets Dig too, which it gets a little bit of semi-vulnerability. It also gets Low Kick. So, you know, Barbaracle, it's got a lot of great tools in its kit. A lot of great fighting type tools in its kit. And now, getting into Mega Barbaracle, here's the stats. It goes up to 140 attack, 130 defense, 106 special defense, and 88 speed. It does get a tiny little jump from 54 to 64 for the special attack, but I mean, yeah, just look at this thing. This is going to be scary if it gets to keep Tough Claws upon Mega Evolving. Like, imagine a Tough Claws boosted close combat. Imagine if it was like, say, Scrappy, where it could hit ghost types. Like any ghost type that would have a dual typing that's weak to fighting would just automatically have a miserable time. Like looking at Mega Frostlass, Mega Chandelure, Yeah, even ghost type Pokemon that just don't have a fun dual typing that resists fighting, like that would be really rough for them. And then on top of that, any Pokemon that's part flying, well, Barbaricle's got rock type coverage as well, so like that's not going to be great for them. So I think this thing is going to be very, very scary. I mean, it certainly is when you see it looking coming up with all the different hands right there. Like, yeah, I think Mega Barbarical is going to be terrifying to go up against. And I mean, like, really, Pit Pocket wasn't doing Barbarical a whole lot. Like, I mean, if you had a broken Focus Sash and like Barbarical could steal an item, I guess. I mean, Sniper is a kind of scary ability since basically if it lands the critical hit, the damage is getting an extra 50% boost. So, like, I mean, if Mega Barbarical kept Tough Claws, that could be scary. I don't necessarily think they would give it Swift Swim, but I think having it be able to double its speed could be absolutely insane. Like, without any investment right here, like at 88 speed, like this thing with double speed would naturally be able to outspeed Dragapult because like you need a base 107 speed or yeah, you need 107 as your speed number to be able to outspeed Dragapult under Tailwind, which I mean you naturally have right there. If you wanted to outspeed Shadow Rider, like you just need that minimum to 112, like 28 EVs would put you there. So like you could outspeed it easily. Let's see right here. Another Pokemon that you would be able to outspeed because sometimes you do see it pop up from time to time is Incineroar. Gee, yeah, you might sometimes see this one here, but sometimes what you might see pop up is like max speed Incineroar. Like max speed Incineroar is 112 on a neutral nature, and then on a beneficial nature, like you get 123. Like if you wanted Barbarical to have some speed, like you could very easily outspeed max speed non-beneficial nature Incineroar with 36 points. If you wanted to outspeed beneficial nature, like you could run 124. Like you could have that. If you wanted to say outspeed maybe Rillaboom, like Rillaboom would be a good one to look into for being able to outspeed. Since, you know, Rillaboom could still threaten Barbarical a little bit, whereas you are still part rock type. Like, Rillaboom's 85 speed, Mega Barbarical's 88, so you naturally outspeed it. If you're worried about Grassy Glide, I mean, you got a 130 defense. If you get some defensive investment going, or even a defensive screen, Mega Barbarical could be great. And the other thing, too, is this thing is still a rock type. So, like, if Sand is up, like, you're also getting a special defense boost. Like, that doesn't help with Rillaboom, but just thinking about it in general, you're a rock type. You got some bulky stats right here with that 130 defense and 106 special defense. If you get Sand up, like, Mega Barbarical could be fun. And, you know, while I don't think Swift Swim is a thing, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, Sand Rush or Sand Force could be really scary on this thing. Like, I really didn't think much at first, but I mean, you think about it, we'll see if this will... Like, Excadrill is base 88 speed. Right there, like, you could speed tie Excadrill, and if you get to get Sandrush on Mega Barbarical, like, you could have a new Sand Sweeper. And you have bulk. Like, that's one thing that Excadrill doesn't really have a whole lot of because it's kind of glassier in the defensive stats. Barbarical might be kind of wild, especially if you get some coaching support into this thing. Like right here with 150 defense and 160 attack, like half of your attack right there is 80, half of your defense is 75. Like, those are some pretty nice numbers right there to get off coaching, and that's before any investment. So, like, just out of curiosity, like if you ran an adamant nature, like you would max out at 211 if you wanted to. You could just bring it to 200, put some numbers into your defense right there. If you really wanted some coaching, you could have max speed, just go 4 and 4. And then maybe you could have some interesting ideas right there if you want to have coaching support. Maybe you get that sand up and now you have that special defense boost. Just food for thought. And then maybe if you want to go for the jolly idea instead, well, you could have 154 speed on a max jolly, add 182 into your attack, or maybe even just if you want to just go simple with it, you could just take out your points, have 192 physical attack. That could be fun. And I mean, hey, we have no idea what the ability on this thing is, whether it's going to be Tough Claws, if it'll be Sand Rush, Sand Force. I mean, Sand Force would be fun too, because Rock, Steel, and ground type attacks would get an extra boost in the sand too, which you don't see a whole lot of Sand Force mons, but I mean, that might be an interesting idea. Just saying, I think that could be fun. We do have Earthquake. Inner Focus might be a handy idea, or again, scrappy, because you wouldn't have to worry about Intimidate. So there's that. I mean, if you got Inner Focus, you would also ignore Fake Out, which would be nice. So yeah, I think Mega Barbarical, absolutely insane mon. I think it definitely has a lot of That's Gyarados. Why is Gyarados there? Anyways. As far as Mega Barbarical goes, I think it has a lot of insane potential. So yeah. Anyways, that was kind of my thoughts on this one here. 3 Mega Pokemon with plenty of potential coming in the future. We got Pyroar, we got Victory Bell, and we got Barbarical. Honestly, I am super excited for the Barbarical, and I'm very curious to see what we'll see for Pyroar's ability. Maybe this thing will blow past my expectations and my initial impression, and maybe Victory Bell will be the most broken out of the 3 that we talked about. Who knows? Be sure to let me know what you think of these 3 Mega Pokemon down in the comments below, and if you made the prediction right, also double down and let me know in the comments below. I'm really excited to see what these Pokemon can potentially do in Pokemon Champions once it comes out, and honestly, I'm just excited. I overall am. I really like Barbarical's rock fighting typing. I love its stats. Pyroar, I do appreciate the new boost to its special attack and speed, and Victory Bell has certainly grown on me, and I really hope some of the ideas for some new future poison-based abilities get applied. I don't know if it'll happen, but I would certainly love to see it. So anyways, thank you guys for listening to this massive talk session right here about these 3 Mega Pokemon, and be sure to let me know any Pokemon that you want to see me talk about in the future. I'm probably going to be talking about more of them as well, so like this isn't my first video of talking about new Z-A Megas anyways, so like obviously I'll be talking about more in the future, but be sure to let me know which Pokemon you are eager to see me talk about. Anyways, catch you next time.